Aisha Buhari spoke. Nnamdi Kanu warned. But nobody listened. Now, Muhammadu Buhari is gone. And suddenly, things are becoming clear. In this video, we ask one big question. Were Aisha Buhari and Nnamdi Kanu right all along? Not up to 48 hours after the death of Muhammadu Buhari, his wife, Aisha Buhari, spoke. It wasn't a long speech. It wasn't loud. But it shook many Nigerians. She said only a few words. Now that he's gone, the truth will speak louder than silence. That was all. She didn't cry. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't give long explanations. But those words, just that one sentence, spread like wildfire across Nigeria. People started asking, what truth is she talking about? Why did she wait until now? Is this about Buhari, or about what happened around him? You see, this is not the first time Aisha Buhari has spoken in this way. Even when Buhari was alive and still in power, she was never quiet. Years ago, in a famous interview, she said, "My husband is not in control. People my husband does not know are the ones ruling the country." That statement caused a storm back then. Some people praised her. Others insulted her. Some said she was exposing family secrets. Others said she was protecting Nigeria. But after that interview, she went quiet again. Sometimes she would reappear with another warning. Always short, never full of details. Now, with Buhari gone, and her new statement, Nigerians are remembering everything she said before. And the question is clear. Was Aisha trying to tell us something for years, but we didn't listen? Some people say yes. They say she saw the power gains inside Aso Rock. She saw the people who used her husband's name. She saw the people who ruled from behind the curtain. And she tried to give us hints. But Nigeria didn't take her seriously. She was mocked. She was ignored. She was pushed aside. Now, that short message, "The truth will speak louder than silence," is making people feel regret. Some are saying, we should have paid attention. She was brave enough to speak, even if she didn't say everything. Others are angry. They say, why didn't she speak fully when it mattered most? Why wait until he died to open up again? But whether people are praising her or blaming her, one thing is clear. Aisha Buhari was not comfortable with what was happening around her husband. She saw things. She heard things. She lived inside the villa. She knew the truth, or at least part of it. Some people now believe her words were not about love or loyalty. They were warnings. Soft, coded warnings. Now, those warnings are coming back like echoes. Even on social media, Nigerians are replaying her old clips. They are writing things like, "Everything Aisha said is happening now. We laughed at her when we should have listened." And others are connecting her to Nnamdi Kanu. Because he also warned Nigeria. He used fire. She used silence. But both were trying to expose the same thing, that something was wrong at the top. So when Aisha Buhari spoke just one sentence after her husband's death, it wasn't small. It opened the door for new questions. Who was really in charge during Buhari's time? Why was Aisha crying for help from inside the presidency? What secrets are still hidden? And even though she didn't give full answers, Nigerians now know one thing for sure. She knew more than she said. Her message is short. Her voice is calm. But now, it speaks louder than ever before. Maybe she couldn't speak fully while her husband was alive. Maybe now that he's gone, she's ready to let the truth come out. Or maybe, she is still afraid of the people who were in charge all along. But for Nigerians watching closely, the message is clear. The silence is over. The truth is coming. And Aisha's voice was the first to break the wall. While Aisha Buhari used calm words and quiet hints, Nnamdi Kanu used fire and bold speech. He was loud. He was fearless. He spoke in a way that made some people cheer, and others panic. He didn't hide his feelings about Buhari's government. From the beginning, he called it what he believed it was: a criminal government full of injustice and lies. Nnamdi Kanu was not just angry about politics. He believed that his people, the Igbo people, were suffering unfairly. He believed that the Southeast was being ignored, insulted, and pushed aside. And he believed that Buhari was the face of the problem. But he didn't stop there. He also said something that shocked the world. He claimed that the real Buhari was no longer alive. He said the man inside Aso Rock was an imposter. He said Nigeria was being ruled by lies. "That is not your president," he said in a viral video. "That is Jubril from Sudan." People were confused. Some laughed. Some insulted him. Some just ignored him. The government didn't laugh. They saw him as a threat. They went after him. They arrested him. They kept him in detention for years. Many Nigerians did not support his method. They said he was too aggressive, too divisive, too dangerous. But now, after Buhari's death, those old videos of Kanu are coming back online. People are watching them again. And this time, they are not laughing. Some are saying, maybe he was wrong about the body double, but right about the secrets. Maybe he was too loud, but the message was real. Kanu didn't just talk about Buhari. He talked about the system. He said Nigeria was being ruled by people behind the scenes. He said the presidency was a cover for deeper corruption. He said the people were being played every day. Back then, these words sounded too hard to believe. But now, after Aisha Buhari's recent message, people are listening again. When Aisha said, "Now that he's gone, the truth will speak louder than silence," it sounded almost like what Kanu had been shouting for years. They used different voices. Aisha used soft words. Kanu used fire. But both were saying the same thing. Buhari was not truly in charge. The country was being controlled by other people. So now, some Nigerians are connecting the dots. They're saying, Kanu tried to tell us. We just didn't want to hear it. We called him a madman, but now we're not so sure. Even some people who didn't support IPOB are starting to reflect. They are not supporting violence. But they are starting to say, maybe we judged the message because we didn't like the messenger. And now that Buhari is gone, many are asking, was Kanu the only one who had the courage to tell the truth? Some believe he spoke too harshly. Others believe he went too far. But one thing is clear. He was not lying about the fear, the control, the silence at the top. Nnamdi Kanu was locked away because of what he said. He shouted when everyone else kept quiet. And now, with Buhari gone, his voice is louder than ever. Nigerians are now remembering that he didn't just talk. He predicted. He said the country would suffer under Buhari. He said fuel would rise. He said insecurity would spread. He said the South would be pushed aside. And sadly, many of those things happened. So now, the big question is simple. Was Nnamdi Kanu actually warning us, not just fighting us? And if that's true, then what are we going to do about it now that Muhammadu Buhari is gone? Many Nigerians are asking one serious question. What really happened during his 8 years in power? We all saw the speeches. We saw the photos. We heard the announcements. But deep down, did we truly know who was in control? Now, things are starting to look different. After Aisha Buhari spoke, and after people started replaying Nnamdi Kanu's old warnings, more Nigerians are beginning to think deeply. For a long time, people were afraid to speak. Some were silent because of fear. Some were silent because of loyalty. Others were just tired. But now, after Buhari's death, the silence is breaking. People are speaking louder. people are remembering what was said. And most of all, people are looking for the truth. Aisha Buhari said, "Now that is gone, the truth will speak louder than silence." That one sentence has opened the door for a national conversation. People are wondering, who were the people behind the scenes? Why was Aisha warning us all along? Was Buhari just a name used by others to rule? Now people are not just looking at Aisha's words. They are also going back to everything Nnamdi Kanu said. Even the parts they once rejected. They remember how he warned about injustice. How he spoke about Nigeria being ruled in secret. How he said the presidency was not in full control. At the time, many said Kanu was too loud. But now, with Buhari gone and the country still suffering, they are saying, maybe we were not ready for the truth back then. The truth is now walking freely. It's no longer locked in silence. It's rising through the voices of the people. All across Nigeria, from the north to the south. On social media, in buses, on the streets. People are talking about what really happened in Aso Rock. They are asking, why did insecurity grow so much under Buhari? Why did fuel prices skyrocket? Why did the Naira fall to its knees? Why were many voices, like Kanu's, silenced? For some, it feels like a storm is finally passing. For others, it feels like the storm is just beginning. Because now, the truth is here, and it's hard to ignore. Some Nigerians are also feeling pain. Not because Buhari died, but because of what he left behind. A divided country. A weak economy. A bitter memory for many. This is why many Nigerians are not mourning the way they normally would for a former president. Instead of tears, people are talking. Instead of candles, people are posting clips of Aisha and Kanu. Instead of quiet respect, there is loud reflection. People are not being disrespectful, they are just being honest. They are saying, he led Nigeria for 8 years, but what did we gain? Aisha tried to help, but we ignored her. Kanu warned us. We called him mad. And now, the same people who were once called liars, angry, or bitter, are being seen as voices of truth. So, were they vindicated? Many Nigerians now believe yes. They say Aisha was trying to open our eyes. They say Kanu, even with his rough style, was fighting for the truth. Now that Buhari is gone, people are ready to listen. And maybe, just maybe, that's how healing begins. Not by hiding what happened. Not by acting like everything was okay. But by facing it. By asking real questions. By telling the truth. And by learning from the pain. That is what this moment is about. This is not just the end of Buhari's life. It might also be the beginning of Nigeria's wake-up call. The days of silence are over. The truth is here. And Nigerians are not afraid anymore.